Power to the truth. I'm going to entitle this video, If Civil War Breaks Out, ... I don't say when because it's not good to assume. But if we remember our history, there's been a civil war before inside the United States. And at the rate things are going now, it's within the realm of possibilities that there could be another one. Got to see, first of all, what do we see? We know that corporate media controls your TV, your newspapers, and your main forms of media. So it's corporate media. It's not really mass media because it's not controlled by the masses. More and more as time goes by, alternative progressive media is becoming more and more out there. But compared to the powers of the corporate media, we're like small little voices in the alley. So we need to continue to use progressive websites. Use your own discretion, use your own damn common sense, and combat the TV addiction. There's so many people, instead of, conversing with each other, they sit down and they watch TV. How the TV may be the biggest babysitter inside the United States. So, we just glance at the USA now. We see that there's different uprisings and unrest in different countries. Say in France. And we don't really get that news from there through the corporate media. And sometimes when I need to see what's really going on, I'll check out foreign news outlets. And you get a bigger, wider picture of what's shaking. So we see that there's a growing gap between the two main classes in class society, the haves and the have-nots. We can call that the minus 1% and the plus 99% of the general population. And I just want to talk in general about ideals and concepts. And I'm not going to do the research for you. You need to have a questioning mind and check out stuff for yourself. Even in Google, the trick in a search is to be able to ask the right questions. We see that we have the largest prison population in the world inside the USA. And I say if civil war breaks out, not when. Ideally, I want to see a peaceful global revolution when the popular forces of masses are so numerous and so angry and so fed up and so disgusted and so pissed off that the forces of reaction will stand down. even their reactionary dogs, even their hired killers. Yet there's a lot of division even within the U.S. Armed Forces. You know, we have the Oath Keepers who have taken an oath to defend and protect the U.S. Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. So we need to respect the Oath Keepers because they may be our saving grace in the long run. So we see many prisoners who are prisoners right now, if they're imprisoned behind non-violent drug offenses, they should just be set free, period. And even the concept of prisons should be reanalyzed. You know, why do we have prisons? We know that it's a big business. See, corporate capitalism cripples and distorts our whole society. You know, from what quality of bread to buy at the store to what kind of a mate a woman wants for marriage. See, so there's no way how we can escape the impact of corporate capitalism in our lives. And it seems that there have been less killings of black youth in the streets of America the last few months. But then, once again, who controls the media? The Black Lives Matter. And yes, all lives matter. Especially those who are most oppressed. Those who suffer the most under the cruelty of corporate capitalism. And we're not talking down about the mom and pop store on the corner, you know, selling their little items. We're talking about Walmart. You know, we're talking about major food chain stores, major corporate companies, and the banks who control a lot of the wheeling and dealing that's going on Wall Street and in your local street wherever you live in the USA. And to think that it's just going to go on and go on and like it's not going to blow up into something bigger, you're being naive. Many times when there's social contradictions and they can get antagonistic or they can be non-antagonistic. Many times those things have been burrowing deep in the ground. And it takes a while for them to develop and to clarify and to erupt into violent contradictions. Remember Rodney King, you know, look how that came off. And when he talked about, when Rodney King mentioned that, something like, why can't we just get along? The reality is that we cannot get along right now because the economic class contradictions between the haves and the have-nots. The rich get richer and the poor get poorer. It's like a it's in the law of economics. Even Jesus Christ got violent with the money changers. You know, so when we look at the power and the potential power of African Americans are blacks in the ghettos, the urban ghettos of the USA. Look at the potential of them uniting with the brown colonies, Latinos, Hispanics, Chicanos, them uniting together. You know, black and brown people. You got two powerful people. And if we were to unite together, we could transform the world. Plus, along with progressive whites. Because in our struggle for justice, we don't want to become racist and anti-white. So we need to have love for all people and respect for all people, no matter what their color, their creed, their religion, their national origin. We need to have love for the people as the basis for what we're trying to do here. And under empire, there really is no independent nation. And if you look with open eyes, you see that the U.S. is not truly an independent nation. We're an internal colony of the U.S. empire. And many of the turmoil that goes on in other countries, like say in the Middle East, is due to the ancient enemy of U.S. imperialism that's been wreaking havoc around the world for centuries now. And there's good books that have come out, and there's a lot to be learned. So you need to be able to search and research for yourself. And if you look at the location of our urban ghettos, the locations of our urban barrios, they're situated in central cities. They're in the whole nervous system of the U.S. empire inside the USA. Now, American fascism is well aware. They know who's who and who's where. And look at the many cameras in your local corners, especially in urban areas. Look at the ones in supermarkets and know they have the potential to get those video links from different sources. And stuff is just going on so much, and for us, this thing just going to drag on and drag on and drag on, and that's just going to blow up. Is to not read the tea leaves, to not really be aware of what a danger that we're all in. The USA is the most violent country in human history. We cannot lose sight of that fact. And money is the link. Money is the link that links the fat cat on Wall Street with that cruel prison guard with the local fascist pig in our streets. Money's the bond. They're in it for the money. So we need to be aware and know that blacks and browns are, if they were unite together, black and brown people, we could shut this whole shit down. We can put an end to the empire. We can bring down the empire. And of course we want to do this through legal, peaceful means as we pass out flowers. We need to be realistic. We need to remember our Second Amendment, our right to bear arms, and know that the reason why the fascist pigs don't want us to have assault weapons is because they want to be the only ones with the weapons that can shoot through walls. So we're dealing with, fascism is a very clever creature. It's almost inevitable because the U.S. was founded upon two genocides of the African American slaves and the indigenous natives in the USA. Two genocides, two great genocides. And led by a patriarchy, a male-dominated hierarchy. It was the founding fathers. They were my fathers. And how they inherited a lot of that patriarchy from England. And they transplanted stuff over here. Just like when the Nazis, a lot of their top echelon people were transplanted here to the USA. So we're not talking about just neo-Nazis. Some of these are actual bloodline Nazis from Nazi Germany. And understand, what this means here. Who we're dealing with here. And, Google the Rothschild family. Rothschilds. And the USA has a very evil history. And the patriarchy and the racism are key ingredients of the whole fascist mixture. So we can't just see in terms of racism and forget about patriarchy and forget about the corporate powers that pull the strings in the background. The U.S. elections. Elections are already rigged. By all rights, Bernie Sanders should get the Democratic nomination. Though I think a real radical is not going to be a Democrat or a Republican. But that's Bernie Sanders, I'm not a Bernie Sanders fan. I still intend to vote for Jill Stein with the Green Party. Yet, Bernie Sanders has had a significant impact on the consciousness of the American people. And if Hillary Clinton can rig the Democratic nomination as she seems to have done already, especially in California, then though at first this may seem like a terrible thing, if you look at it from another perspective, it will make people see the evilness of the two-party system between the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, which is the one and two-headed monster. So even though things may seem like evil or terrible at the time, if they impact on mass consciousness, we get to the point where, no, we don't want a reform, we want revolution. And this could have a positive impact in the long run. So we need to think in terms of not just 2016, but to get out of the mind lock that we're in, to think outside of the two-party system, and to look at 2020, you know, and to see the need for galvanizing a third-party alternative to the Republican and the Democratic Party, the two-headed monster. And I'm 64 of your Earth years, and I feel pretty good. I think health is key to me, and I'm always going to be healing. Healing. I think we need to look, you know, don't get obsessed, don't get shook out of shape. Stay balanced, stay centered, stay grounded. Common sense, wisdom, and understand cognition. You know, power is the due capacity to, first of all, correctly define connected reality and then change it in a positive, productive, progressive way. So we just can't simply sit on our ass and think we're all that in a bag of chips without advocating people, without advocating for humane rights, advocating for the rights of all people, and integrate our theory with our practice, and don't just talk but walk the walk. We do that in the way we hold our persona, our personality, during our interaction with other people, where we try to consistently be constant gardeners. We plant seeds in good soil, where we water them, where we nurture them, and we pray that those seeds grow into big trees that will help to create a canopy over the people, so that we're all connected, so that we're like trees with our leaves touching. So if there's a civil war, a new civil war, you know, it's going to be ugly, it's going to be horrible. So we want to avoid one. We want to create, we have to use our imagination and exhaust all legal, peaceful methods of struggle to transform reality. And not be naive. I'm not the type to put a flower in someone's barrel of someone's rifle. You know, we need to be prepared for whatever can come down. That means we need to share contact information now. It could be a phone number, it could be our Twitter handle. Just have a way where we're all connected up without being paranoid. Whatever you transmit online, consider that open territory. Don't be naive. You know, and when people approach you, be cynical in terms of, you know, what is their interest here? Why are they interested? There's lots of spies in the world. And if we do no wrong, we need not worry about the knock on the front door. But shit happens. Let's see where I'm at here. So that's on me for now. Today's Sunday, tomorrow's a Monday. And no matter how rough a day has been, I love the idea that when I wake up in the morning, it's a fresh start. Power to the people, and power to the truth. And truly, the truth will set you free. Nada más.